Let's clear the air. Right now, you've been lied to. A beautiful, seductive lie. One that sells books and fills seminars and whispers promises in the dark. The lie is this: that you can think your way to a new car, that you can affirm your way into $1 million, that if you just visualize hard enough, with enough crystalline detail, the universe is some cosmic waiter, obligated to bring your order to the table. This is not power. It is a subtle form of insanity. It is you sitting alone in a room, shouting demands at the sky, and then feeling betrayed when the sky doesn't answer. It makes you a beggar at the door of reality, pleading for a scrap from a world you believe is separate from you. And when the scrap doesn't come, what then? You blame your vision board. You question your worth. You decide your thoughts weren't pure enough. You tighten the knot of lack, and you call it a spiritual practice. I want you to understand the fundamental, brutal truth. Manifestation is not about controlling external outcomes. It never was. To believe that is to believe you can steer a hurricane with your bare hands. You are not the puppeteer of people, of events, of the stock market, of chance encounters. That is the fantasy of a child. And it leaves you exhausted, brittle, watching for signs and omens in every passing cloud, a prisoner to your own desperate want. The shift, the only shift that matters, is from the external to the internal. The battlefield is not the world, the battlefield is here. He taps his chest. In the silent private theater of your own being, the objects, the circumstances, the relationships you seek, they are not the goal. They are the echo. They are the inevitable, physical reverberation of a change that has already happened within. You do not attract what you want. You attract, you become, you inhabit what you are. Think of it like this. You cannot hold a tuning fork vibrating at one note and expect it to suddenly resonate with a completely different sound. It is impossible. Your being has a frequency, a resonance, built from every belief you hold as sacred truth, every wound you nurse in the dark, every unspoken story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. This is your set point, your default state, and from this state, your life is broadcast, not by magic, but by the most basic law of cause and effect. A man who deep in his cells believes the world is scarce and people are thieves will, without realizing it, make decisions, read glances, and interpret events through that lens. He will find the scarcity. He will find the thieves. He will call it being a realist. He has manifested his proof. A woman who, beneath her conscious affirmations, feels unworthy of love, will find ways to sabotage connection, will interpret kindness as pity, will push away the very thing she prays for. She has manifested her story. They're not controlling outcomes. They are being controlled by the hidden, internal reality they have accepted as law. This is why your current methods are a form of self-torture. You are trying to paste a picture of a mansion over the cracked window of a shuttered room. You are trying to shout, "I am abundant," while your gut is clenched in fear over a bank statement. The universe, or more accurately, your own subconscious mind, does not listen to your words. It responds to your vibration, to the sum total of your belief. And when your words and your deep belief are at war, which do you think wins every single time? The goal is not to force a new reality onto the old one. The goal is to become the person for whom that reality is already true. The mansion is not the point. The point is the state of being of a person who lives in a mansion. The security, the spaciousness, the peace. Can you feel that security in your bones now, in a small apartment? Can you know that spaciousness in your mind now, amid clutter? Can you access that peace now, while bills sit on the table? That is the work. That is the only work. Not the frantic visualization of an object, but the silent, deliberate cultivation of a state. When you shift the state, the path reveals itself, not because you planned it, but because your new frequency recognizes opportunities the old you was blind to. You make different choices. You speak different words. You carry a different energy that others respond to. The how is none of your business. Your business is the who. Who you being, right now, in the absence of all evidence. This is the end of begging. This is the beginning of sovereignty. Stop trying to control the world. Control the only thing you ever truly can, the world within. The reflection will have no choice but to change. It is not about getting what you want. It is about becoming who you are, so you begin to understand. The target is not out there, the target is in here. But this leads to the next, more critical error in your thinking. You believe this internal work is a means to an end, a transaction. If I can just feel abundant for a few weeks, then the money will come. That subtle bargain, that covert contract you make with life, it poisons the entire well. You are still trying to control an outcome. You've just dressed the mechanism in more sophisticated clothing. This is not alignment. It is manipulation in a spiritual mask. And it will fail you. You must hear this: true manifestation is not an inside-out process. That still implies a sequence, a before and after. It suggests you do the inner work first, and then the outer world changes later. This is the final, most insidious piece of the lie you must discard. There is no then. There is only now. The state you inhabit is not the cause of a future reality. It is the reality. This is the core of it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled, lived in the present tense, without any expectation of a future payoff. That is not a step on a path. It is the destination itself, experienced in advance. The moment you truly, somatically, unquestioningly feel it, you have it. The external circumstances are merely the world catching up to a fact that has already been established in a deeper stratum of existence. Let me be clear. If you are visualizing your perfect partner while feeling the aching absence of loneliness, you are not manifesting love. You are manifesting, with perfect clarity, the state of loneliness that wants love. You are amplifying the very condition you seek to escape. The object of your desire becomes a constant reminder of your lack. This is why wanting can be the greatest obstacle to having. The shift is not from lack to fulfillment in the future. It is from lack to fulfillment now. Right here, in this breath. You must stop seeing the state as the engine of a future event and start recognizing it as the event itself. Think of your consciousness as the source of light in a vast room. The objects in the room, your job, your home, your relationships, are merely what that light falls upon. You have been taught to run around the room, desperately trying to rearrange the furniture, polish the dull objects, paint the walls, all while ignoring the quality of the light itself. Is it a harsh, flickering fluorescent, a dim, fearful candle, or is it a steady, warm, sun-like radiance? You cannot fix the shadow by wrestling with the object casting it. You must change the light, and when you change the light, everything in the room is transformed. Not later, instantly. It is seen differently. It exists differently in your perception, and from that new perception, new actions, new choices, a new life become not only possible but inevitable. This is why acceptance is not surrender. It is the ultimate act of power. To accept what is completely, to drop the internal war with the present moment, is to stop generating the chaotic, fearful light of resistance. In that cessation, a natural, calm, potent light can emanate from you, and from that place of peaceful sovereignty, movement happens. Not from desperation, but from clarity. Not from a need to fill a hole, but from the overflow of a wholeness that is already present. The practice, therefore, is not one of building towards something. It is one of uncovering what already is. You are not trying to become abundant. You are uncovering the abundance that is the inherent nature of existence and allowing that realization to dissolve the scarcity programmed into your nervous system. You are not trying to become loved. You are peeling back the layers of fear and unworthiness to reveal the love that is your fundamental state, which has been obscured, not lost. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop looking for validation that your internal work is working. That is the old paradigm knocking at the door. That is you checking to see if the universe has validated your transaction. It never will, because there is no transaction. There is only being. When you are being it truly, fully, without a shred of performance, the search is over. You have arrived. The outer world will shift. It must, because a new cause has been established. but you will not care in the same desperate way. You will watch it unfold with the quiet curiosity of someone seeing a dream they once had gently bleed into the waking world. The desire for the specific form will have melted into the satisfaction of the state. You wanted the house for the feeling of security. If you have the feeling, the house becomes a detail, a pleasant one, but a detail nonetheless. This is the end of seeking. This is the end of the exhausting pilgrimage toward a future salvation. Salvation is not a place you get to. It is a frequency you tune to. And you can tune to it now. Do not ask for the reflection. Become the image. You are beginning to see the architecture. The state is not a strategy. It is the territory. But this brings us to the most common and most crippling point of failure. The chasm between an idea in the mind and a truth in the body. You have been trying to think your way into a new life. You repeat words you do not believe. You construct mental images that feel like fantasies. You engage in an act of imagination, and then you walk back into a world that contradicts it, and the fragile illusion shatters. This is not belief. This is wishful thinking, and wishing is the language of lack. Belief is not an intellectual agreement. It is not a positive affirmation you say while looking in the mirror. That is a surface scratch on a granite block. Real belief is geologic. It is sedimentary. It is built from layer upon layer of lived experience, of emotional memory, of cellular knowing. It resides not in your prefrontal cortex, but in your gut, in your spine, in the set of your shoulders. It is the unshakable ground your feet stand upon before you even think to look down. This is what you have missed: embodiment. You can tell yourself, "I am safe," 1,000 times. But if, when a sudden noise cracks the silence, your heart seizes and your muscles coil before the thought even forms, then your belief is not "I am safe." Your belief, your somatic truth, is "I am in danger." The body is the record of your deepest convictions. It is the physical manifestation of your subconscious mind, and it votes with every hormone, every neural pathway, every instinctual flinch. You are trying to override this ancient, sophisticated voting system with a paper-thin slogan. It will not work. The work then is not to convince your mind. The work is to convince your nervous system, to teach the animal that you are. You do this not with words, but with experience. You must generate the feeling of the wish fulfilled in the present moment, and allow your body to marinate in it, to record it as a new fact. This is not visualization. This is visceralization. Close your eyes. Do not see the sports car. Feel the steering wheel in your hands, the grain of the leather. Smell the new interior. Hear the precise thud of the door closing. Feel the weight of the vehicle, the response of the engine as a low hum in your bones. Feel the posture of the person who owns this car. The ease, the quiet assurance. Sit in that feeling for 5 minutes. Let your biochemistry change. Let your heart rate drop into a rhythm of ownership, not craving. In that moment, you are not a person wanting a car. You are a person experiencing the car. You are creating a cellular memory of a reality that is not yet physically manifested. You are depositing evidence into the bank of your body. This is the difference between a daydream and a drill. A daydream is a escape. A drill is a rehearsal for a reality you know is coming. You must move from spectator to participant in the reality of your chosen state. Now apply this to something intangible. Peace. Do not think about peace. Embody it. Sit. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue rest away from the roof of your mouth. Let the space between your eyebrows soften. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe into your lower belly. Feel the solid support of the chair, of the earth beneath you. With every exhalation, feel a release of a tiny strand of tension you've been holding for years. This is not relaxation. This is the active construction of the somatic signature of peace. You are programming the body with a new default setting. This is why action is often misunderstood. You take action not to make something happen, but to prove to your own body that the new state is true. If your state is "I am a person of health," you do not go to the gym to become healthy. You go to the gym because you are healthy. The action is an expression of the embodied belief, and it reinforces it, carving the neural pathway deeper. It closes the loop between the imagined state and the physical world, making it more real to your entire being. This is the death of pretending. This is the end of affirmations that ring hollow. You will no longer tolerate the disconnect between your words and your physical reality. You will become a detective of your own somatic clues. That knot in your stomach when you say, "I am prosperous," that is the truth you must address. That is the old story, written in flesh and sinew, that needs rewriting. Do not fight it. Go into it. Feel the knot. Breathe into it. Ask it what it believes. Then, gently, provide a new experience. Place your hand on your abdomen and generate the warm, expansive, open feeling of more than enough. Give your body a new experience to believe in, one conscious breath at a time, one deliberate posture shift at a time. You are not building belief from scratch. You are excavating the old fossilized beliefs stored in your tissues and replacing them with living proof, delivered through sustained, conscious feeling. The mind will argue. The mind is a lawyer for the past. The body, when given a new, consistent experience, will learn, it will adapt, it will begin to believe. And when your body believes, the world has no choice but to agree. Your decisions will come from a place of knowing, not hoping. Your posture will communicate your truth before you speak. Your eyes will reflect a reality that is already complete within you. Stop trying to believe it. Start instructing your nervous system to live it. The mind is the architect, but the body is the builder, and it only works with the materials of lived experience. The bridge between the world within and the world without is built of flesh and bone and breath. Good. The body learns. The state becomes a place you can inhabit. But now you face the most cunning trap of all, the trap of the plan. You have the feeling, you have the somatic truth, and then, like a reflex, your mind leaps forward. It tries to be helpful. Starts drawing the map. All right, it says, "I feel abundant, so the money should come through. Ugh, a promotion at my current job by next quarter, and then I'll invest it in," or, "I am loved, so I will meet my partner, probably at the coffee shop on Tuesday. They'll have a specific look, a specific job." Stop. You have just taken the infinite and tried to cram it into a thimble. You have traded your sovereignty for a script. This is the error of the how. It is the desperate need to control the delivery system, to see the bridge before you take the first step. It is a failure of trust, and more importantly, it is a profound misunderstanding of how reality assembles itself around a new state. Your conscious mind is a brilliant tool for solving linear problems. It is a terrible architect for miracles. It can only design with the pieces it already knows from the past. It builds futures out of recycled materials. The universe, or the deeper intelligence of your own subconscious, of the unified field, operates on a level of complexity and synchronicity your rational mind cannot fathom. It has access to the infinite web of cause and effect, to opportunities you are blind to connections that haven't formed yet. When you attach to a specific how, you are telling this infinite intelligence, "No, not like that, like this." You are shutting 1,000 doors to open one you can already see. You are choosing the known prison over the unknown frontier. Your only job, your singular task, is to be unequivocally clear about the who. Who are you being? What is the state? Is it security? Is it freedom? Is it creative power? Is it radiant health? Lock on to that, feel it, embody it. Then release the form. Your desire is for the essence, not the container. You want the feeling of freedom, not necessarily the specific yacht you saw in a magazine. The yacht is one of a million possible expressions of freedom. By fixating on it, you may miss the private elan. The untethered life of travel, the business that gives you ultimate autonomy, all of which might embody the essence of freedom for you in ways the yacht never could. Think of it as ordering from a master chef. You do not go into a world-class kitchen and hand the chef a recipe. You do not tell him the exact temperature of the oven or the brand of the pan. You tell him the experience you desire. I want something savory, rich, surprising, that feels like comfort and adventure at once. Then you sit down, you trust. The chef has access to ingredients you don't, techniques you can't conceive of. The dish that arrives will be a perfect manifestation of your request, but it will likely be something you could never have designed yourself. It will be better, because you specified the experience, not the mechanics. Your mind, clinging to the how, is you running into that kitchen, grabbing the chef's knife, and shouting about the proper way to dice an onion. You are in the way. You are slowing down the meal. You are limiting the genius available to you. This is where faith moves from a spiritual concept to a practical necessity. Faith is not believing a specific event will occur. Faith is knowing that the state you are holding will, by the law of correspondence, magnetize the appropriate events, people, and circumstances into your field. You do not need to know the path. You only need to know the destination is guaranteed because you have already arrived there in your internal climate. You walk in the dark, but you carry the sun within you. The path will illuminate itself step by step, not in a blueprint, but as a trail of breadcrumbs laid down just ahead of your feet. Your sign that you have truly released the how is a deep, pervasive sense of curiosity and detachment. You will move through your day embodying your state, feeling free, feeling loved, feeling powerful. And you will watch the world with quiet interest. You will not be straining to see if that email is the one, if that person is the one. You will know, in your bones, that the correspondence is already in motion. Your energy is the broadcast the receivers will tune in. The forms it takes are irrelevant. You will begin to see failed paths not as failures, but as the universe kindly closing doors that led to lesser versions of your desire, clearing the way for the perfect expression. So when the impulse arises to map it out, to force a specific outcome, to make a move from anxiety rather than from inspired impulse, stop. Return to the state. Breathe into the feeling. Ask yourself, who am I being right now? Am I being the person who has this, or the person who is anxiously trying to manufacture it? The feeling of anxious manufacturing is the death knell of manifestation. The feeling of calm, assured being is the engine. Let the universe handle the logistics. Your realm is the vibrational, the causal, the essence. Occupy that territory with every fiber of your being. Then move when you are moved, not when you are desperate. Speak when inspired, not when calculating. The right action will feel like a downstream current, not an upstream struggle. It will feel obvious, almost effortless. Do not mistake this for passivity. It is intense, focused activity on the inner plane, which then generates a magnetic pull on the outer plane. You are the sun, shining steadily. You do not need to chase the planets, or gravity orders their orbits. You are the cause. Let reality handle the effects. You understand the mechanics now. State, embodiment, release. But there is a final barrier, a concept so twisted by the world that you likely see it as the enemy. It is the very thing you have been taught to fight against with every fiber of your being. I am talking about surrender, about acceptance. You hear those words, and you think of white flags, of giving up, of settling, of admitting defeat. This is a critical error. It is why you strain. It is why you burn out. It is the source of the exhausting friction between you and your life. Let me redefine these terms for you, not as spiritual platitudes, but as the highest forms of tactical power. Surrender is not giving up on your desire. Surrender is giving up on your anxiety about it. It is the conscious, deliberate release of the mental and emotional clutch you have been squeezing. You want the new state, but you are addicted to the tension of not having it. You believe the tension is what fuels the pursuit. It is not. The tension is what sabotages it. It is the static that drowns out the signal. Surrender is turning off the static. Think of it as a man trapped in quicksand. His instinct is to thrash, to fight, to struggle against the substance that holds him. Every movement sinks him deeper. His struggle is his doom. Surrender, in that context, is not acceptance of death. It is the counterintuitive, supremely difficult act of going still, of spreading his weight, of stopping the fight so that a new possibility, a branch, a rope, a shift in the mud can present itself. His stillness is not passivity. It is the only active choice that leads to survival. Your mind, obsessed with the lack of your desire, is that thrashing. It is the mental quicksand. When will it happen? Why hasn't it happened? Did I do it wrong? What if it never happens? This is the noise. This is the struggle that sinks you deeper into the state of lack. Surrender is the decision to stop asking those questions, to let the question itself dissolve, to replace what if it never happens with a deeper, more fundamental statement: it is okay if it never happens. Now, before you recoil, understand this. That statement is not a betrayal of your desire. It is the ultimate liberation from the desperate need for it. It is the severing of the psychic umbilical cord between your sense of self-worth and a future outcome. When you can genuinely, in your heart, find the place that says, my peace, my wholeness, my worth is not contingent upon this thing. It is okay if it never comes. You achieve something monumental. You reclaim your power from the future. You bring it all back into the present. In that moment, you are no longer a hostage to a potential tomorrow. You are free, and it is from this place of freedom, not from the cramped cell of craving, that true creation flows. Desire from freedom is a song. Desire from need is a scream. The universe responds to the song. It recoils from the scream. This is the paradoxical power of acceptance of the present moment, exactly as it is, without the frantic internal commentary about how it should be, is the most fertile ground there is. It is not resignation. It is clear-eyed seeing. You cannot build a new structure on a foundation of frantic rejection. You must first accept the foundation you stand on. This is where I am. These are the facts. From that calm acknowledgement, power returns to you. The power to choose your state, right here, right now, despite the facts. Your previous idea of power was forcing the river to flow uphill. Real power is removing the dam you built across it so it can flow naturally to the sea. Acceptance removes the dam. Your resistance, your non-acceptance of what is the dam. It is you, using all your energy to hold back the flow of life because you don't like the particular bend in the river you can see from here. When you surrender the struggle, when you accept the now, the energy you were wasting on internal resistance becomes available for creation. It is vast. It is palpable. You will feel it as a sough of quiet vitality. This energy is then funneled, not into wanting, but into being, into the embodied state. The state flourishes in the soil of acceptance. It withers in the desert of resistance. So do not fear surrender. Do not scorn acceptance. They are not the end of your journey. They are the beginning of the real one. They are the dismantling of the prison, so you can finally walk out of the open door you were always too busy rattling the bars to see. Stop fighting the reality you have. Start building from it. The deepest acceptance of the present contains the seeds of the most profound future, because it is the only place where true power resides, not in the remembered past, not in the imagined future. Here, now, in this breath, just as it is. Your deepest freedom is found not in getting what you want, but in no longer needing it to be okay. You have the theory, state over strategy, embodiment over thought, surrender over force. You understand it. In this moment, it feels clear, perhaps even easy, but this is where the final and perhaps most important truth must be confronted. This is not a one-time event. It is not a switch you flip. You will not have a single perfect meditation, feel a wave of bliss, and then watch your life reassemble itself by morning while you sleep. That is the fantasy of the quick fix, the spiritual bypass, and it is a trap that has undone more people than doubt ever did. What we are discussing is not a hack. It is a practice, a discipline, the most important one you will ever undertake. It is the moment-to-moment, day after day, often gritty, an unglamorous work of integration. Think of your old state, your old set point, as a deep, well-worn riverbed. For years, decades, the water of your consciousness has flowed through it. It has carved a canyon. The paths are automatic. When stress hits, the water flows into the channel of anxiety. When opportunity arises, it flows into the channel of unworthiness. This is your neurological and emotional autopilot. It is the subconscious software running your life. Your new state, the feeling of abundance, of love, of power, is not yet a riverbed. It is a trickle of water on dry, hard ground. Your work is not to fantasize about a future river. Your work is to take that trickle, day after day, and pour your conscious attention into it, to redirect the flow, bucket by bucket, breath by breath, away from the old deep canyon and onto this new land. At first, it will feel futile. The water will soak in and disappear. The old canyon will pull with tremendous gravity. You will have a morning where you feel invincible, embodied, free, and then a single email, a thoughtless comment, an old memory will trigger you and whoosh, you are back in the old riverbed, tumbling through the familiar rapids of lack, anger, or fear. This is not failure, this is the practice. Integration is the conscious return. It is the moment you notice you have been pulled into the old state, the clench in your gut, the bitter voice in your head, the wave of helplessness, and instead of following it down the canyon, you pause. You stop the narrative. You do not judge yourself for being there. You simply note it. Ah, the old channel. And then, with the deliberate focus of a master craftsman, you redirect. You take a breath that reaches your lower belly. You straighten your spine. You remember the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You generate, right there in the midst of the trigger, the somatic signature of your new state. You feel the abundance even as the bank account looks the same. You feel the love even as you sit alone in the room. You feel the power even in the face of the problem. This is the reps. This is the weightlifting of consciousness. Each conscious return is a rep. Each time, you choose the new feeling over the old reaction. You carve the new riverbed a little deeper. You make the neurological pathway a little stronger. You are literally rewiring your nervous system, teaching it that the new state is a valid, and eventually, a preferable, home. There will be no fireworks for this work. There will be no audience applause. It is the internal, private heroism of choosing a different thought, a different posture, a different breath 10,000 times a day. It is forgiving yourself for the 9,000 times you forget and focusing only on the next time you remember. This is why it is a practice over time. You are not changing your clothes. You are changing your skeletal structure. It happens slowly, then all at once. One day, you will face a trigger that once would have ruined your week, and you will notice a space, a half second of quiet. And in that space, you will find not the old reaction, but the new state, already there waiting. It will have become the default. The new canyon will be deep enough to hold the full flow of your life. The old one will have silted over, become a dry relic of a person you no longer are. Do not look for dramatic external validation to know it is working. The validation is internal. It is the growing space between stimulus and reaction. It is the quieting of the mental noise. It is the ease with which you can return to the feeling of peace, of enough, of worth. The external world will shift. It must. But it will often do so in subtle, almost mundane ways at first. A sense of ease where there was friction. A unexpected kindness. A solution appearing from a direction you hadn't considered. These are the echoes. Do not chase the echoes. Tend to the source. Your life will become the practice. Washing dishes becomes an exercise in embodied presence. A traffic jam becomes a drill in surrender and choosing your state. A difficult conversation becomes the gym where you practice the feeling of power and compassion. There is no part of your day that is not raw material for this integration. So abandon the timeline, release the need for a finish line. This is not a race to a destination. It is the gradual, total transformation of the traveler. You are not trying to get somewhere. You are becoming someone, here, now, and forever. The journey and the destination fuse into one single continuous act of creation. The mastery you seek is not in achieving a perfect state, but in the relentless, gentle return to it.